Almost every single DoorDash driver and Uber Eats driver that I know or that comments on my channel would never take an order that looks like this. $2, no tip. And in this video, I'm going to be explaining why I actually do take these orders some of the time. Now, if you guys have been watching my channel for a long time, you know my stance on no tip orders. I absolutely hate them, and I think it's completely wrong to not tip for a service that someone is providing for you. But sometimes these orders can be worth it for the driver. And so I'm going to take you through a scenario that just happened to me where this actually is the case. So I got this order from DoorDash. It was $5.50 for 4 miles. And even that, a lot of people wouldn't take. It was 10 o'clock for me, and that's the slowest time in my area. And so I lower my threshold or my standard for what orders I'm going to be willing to accept if I decide to continue to work through the slow times. So this is one of those orders that I definitely would during this time of day. Now, as I accept that, I'm driving over to Beans and Brews. I get this order from Uber Eats, which is $2. Now, by itself, this order would be really bad, and I would definitely decline it. But because my advice to everyone is to always run multiple apps at the same time, because then you give yourself the best shot at the best orders. You have a higher threshold of declining because you know there's more orders coming in, so you can raise your standard of order and also get batched orders that go seamlessly together. Now, if we go outside of this example, where if I just got the DoorDash order, but I got this $2 order and it wasn't even close to the drop-off location, or it was even from a different restaurant or different things like that, I would definitely not take it. But the way to get these orders to actually work out for you is to look at these specific things. Make sure it's from the exact same restaurant. You don't want to waste any time driving to a different restaurant because you don't know how long of a wait it's going to be. You don't know any of these things. Say I'm doing the DoorDash order from Beans and Brews, and then I got an order to Arctic Circle or something that's like right next door, literally in the same little strip mall, then it still would not be worth it because I might pick up the Beans and Brews order, go over to the other restaurant, and then they tell me it's 5-10 minute wait, and then I've just wasted more time when it's only a $2 order. So it's just not worth it. When it's to the exact same restaurant, you can go in like I did into the Beans and Brews, and I say I have these 2 orders, and they said, oh good, they're both ready. That way you know right there. If they had said, oh, the DoorDash is ready, but it's going to be a 10-minute wait on the Uber Eats, then I would just unassign the Uber Eats and move on. And that way I don't waste any time because I was already going to that restaurant. So that's why you want to make sure first and foremost that it's at the same restaurant. And then the next thing you want to look for is, are the drop-off locations extremely close by each other? Or is one on the way to another? Now, this one actually worked out in both ways. It was on the way and super close. So you can see here, as I'm driving to drop off the orders after picking them up, the maps are exactly the same. The DoorDash one is just 1 minute more than the Uber Eats one. And that is because they were literally taking me on the exact same path. The Uber Eats drop-off location, the customer's house, was actually on the way, like directly. I didn't even have to turn down a different road and then drop it off, flip a U, and like go back out of that neighborhood. It was literally on the street. I turned right, and the Uber Eats house is on the left. And so I literally just have to pull over. I don't even have to make any turn, nothing. So I pull over, drop it off, and then I just continue on going and dropping off the DoorDash order, which was just 1 minute up the road. So if this isn't the case, then you either want one or the other, and it still might be doable. So if you have the drop-off location on the way, where maybe it's like 5 minutes before you get to the last drop-off, but you still don't have to go out of your way at all, then it would still be worth it. Or if the locations are super close, like in the same neighborhood, but not directly on the way, where you might have to make a turn or something like that and then go drop off the last one, then it's still probably worth it to do those. But you want to make sure that the drop-off locations are extremely close by each other, or that one's on the way to the other. So once you do all those things, it makes it super worth it, because this additional $2 order that didn't have a tip only ended up taking me the extra time that it took me to walk from my car to the doorstep, drop it off, and go back. So probably a total of 30 seconds to make an extra $2. That's the only way I end up taking these types of orders, is 1, if it's slow, 2, if they're at the same restaurant, 3 or 4, if they're on the way to each other or really, really close for the drop-off location. But other than that, I would not stack these orders together. So anyways, there you guys have it. Hopefully this gave you a little bit of insight to a strategy I use on how I stack orders and how I make no tip orders actually worth it. If it helped you, make sure you guys subscribe. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.